Hey everyone, welcome to Daily Game Review number 81. Today we have Esper 11Q versus Gustin 11Q. Let's go ahead and look at the game and see how it goes. So at this level, I really want to recommend that you guys really work on emphasizing the basics. The basics. Make sure you're answering the questions to fix yourself, fix your weaknesses before going somewhere else. Make sure you make that base and then look at your opponent's weaknesses and then make sure you get to those big moves. And try really hard not to follow your opponent and stuff like that. So we're going to see how that goes. So the first thing I see here is the basics would tell us the most open side on the board. The most open side is either the top side or the right side. So I recommend one of these two to play. And actually it's seen in most pro games. You can see something like this, or just making a Shamari like this is much more common and easier to deal with because it's a good combination. We're going to go ahead and suggest that for you guys next time. Here you're going with the Kobayashi, but normally with the Kobayashi you have a star point or a Shamari. So this stone looks a little strange in combination with these on the bottom. So maybe I don't recommend this too much, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. All right, so white does a high approach, perfectly fine. We play a normal Joseki. And actually, white, I would not choose this Joseki specifically because, as we know, where's my tools? As we know, this stone, when it extends, it wants to jump over 5 and go here. So the white stone would actually be better on K17 in combination with D16. So in other words, with the star point, the combination's better if the white's on K17 here. But this Joseki wants us to extend here. So instead, what if we chose a different Joseki? What if we chose this one instead and then extended back? Well, now you see that the white stone in the corner extended a 5-space extension, and you still got the 3-space extension from your 3 stones. So this is actually kind of a perfect combination. You could also go high since you have support. And this would be a really good combination for white since it's actually doing a perfect extension from both sides. Therefore, I think this Joseki choice would be a little bit better. So remember, when you choose a Joseki, try to choose a Joseki that works with the rest of the stones on the board. It's good that you know Joseki, but know multiple Josekis and then think in your head, which one looks good on this board? And that's how you choose a good Joseki in the opening. All right, so that's that for that. And then a 1-space pincer here. So I'm going to teach you guys a little bit something that might be a little advanced for you, but really important to know and really good on this board. That is when you have a stone on the 3rd line on top and you have a stone to support a pincer or support the bottom side so black doesn't get too big basically. Support might be the wrong word. Something to negate black's influence or keep pressure on black. So in other words, when you have a strong position down here or an alive position down here, that's perfectly fine. And you have a 3rd line stone or 4th line stone on the top like this, a really good move is actually to play here. This is because black doesn't really have a great follow-up on the side up here. So if we just play something like this, we can easily see that just playing normal will give white a very large top side in territory. And the left side is perfectly fine for white as well because we're strong, we have support, and black's very uncomfortable. So actually the best move for black is usually, maybe the best move is not the right word, but another option for black or a good option for black is usually a pincer in here. And this fight, I think, in my opinion, is favorable for white. I can't say for certainty that it is. I just know that this is a fighting pattern and I like white. However, as you see here, the tiger's mouth is a little bit strange on this board. Normally it would be a connection because you have this type of combination for black. So normally it would be a little bit better to have the other Joseki, but still on this board I think it's okay. So this, in my opinion, I like white. But that's again my opinion and my opinion on the situation. But I really like this move when there is a 3rd line stone on top and you are fine in the bottom left. So I remember this move. You kind of need both of these combinations, but when you have them, this type of move can be very powerful because it gets you plenty of territory and puts your opponent in a very uncomfortable position. All right, but a pincer is not bad. It's not terrible. It's just normally, no, I'm not gonna say anything. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's okay. Just I think B15 is a little bit more powerful. All right, so black jumps. Normally the 3-3 is seen here. You either 3-3 or you would pincer, but let me note, guys, do not pincer when white is on both sides. White will just 3-3, and then you don't have a move. If you try to surround white, you will just get cut off, and you don't have a base on either side. So you're completely baseless. So do not pincer when there's a stone on both sides. However, those are the two most common options, either a reverse pincer or 3-3. Jump here is not bad. However, it's going to aim for influence, and I'm not convinced you're going to get a lot of influence due to the white's position up here. White's kind of high, black's kind of low. White can easily push black down, so I'm not convinced that the influence is going to be great, but it's maybe not a terrible idea. Just so you know that this type of move aims for some influence, and maybe you won't get that much influence on this board. All right, so we play this way. It seems black does know the Joseki and white does not. So white, this is not Joseki. The Joseki is actually just to play here, play this way, and then push black like this and get a strong position. Get some territory on the side, and black gets some influence. And I think this is okay. So I think this little peep here might not be good for white, but because white can easily get surrounded, and this shape is just overplay. Black can simply push in here and cut white off, which he does. So black seems to know a little bit more about this variation than white does. And white push one more and then just 1-point jump, because you want a 1-point jump as soon as possible. So normally you'd be able to here, but due to the lack of liberties, there is a cut. So you can't do it here, so you just push one more and then you jump. And now you have third line territory. Second line is a little bit soft here because later there might be a Tsuji around here somewhere. But black can just fix. It looks like black went 3-3. This is too soon, black. Fix your cut first, and then you can worry about territory later. Fix your cut first, and then you can worry about territory. This is good to live in the corner, so it looks like black knows quite a bit about Joseki and corner variations. However, you missed the chance to fix yourself, and now white has a chance to come back. So black, make sure you fix your weaknesses first before moving on. And white, try to learn a little bit more about that Joseki, about Josekis in general and combinations, because it looks like black's opening's better than white's. Okay, so white does a very powerful attack on black. Black's in a lot of trouble, and black's struggling to survive. White, you need to watch your own weaknesses, otherwise black can play a strong variation and potentially cut you off. But it doesn't look like it works immediately because white has a connection here. So black plays, but as long as white's careful, I think white will come out ahead on this. Okay. So I think this result is good for white because black did not get the influence he originally wanted. However, white does need to get Sente and get to the bottom right corner. Difficult. This might be too greedy. I don't think you need to do this, white. I think white, you're just fine just Tanukiing. Just go play a big move like over here or something, and you'll be fine. It looks like black did get off, does have more territory than white, but he has 3 corners, and white doesn't have the influence to make up for it. So black is a bit ahead, but that's because white didn't really have a combination. And maybe this attack could have been handled a little bit better. Let's see about how we could handle that a little bit better. So here, perhaps we could have gone something like this, and then pushed in here a little bit more, and then jumped in. Something like that. So I think white, you should defend yourself while attacking, and make sure you get that profit. Because it looks like at the end of it, white was the one getting surrounded, and that's not too good. Here, these moves are unnecessary. I think just go ahead and split black with something like here or here is a little bit better. And instead of doing moves up here, because this is it's over aggressive. You don't need to be over aggressive, and you're only inside, you need to be on the outside. Here you're actually just helping black. So instead, try and Try and like maybe go in here and destroy the bottom side while attacking black. So look at your opponent's weaknesses a little bit more. Here it looks like white's going to get a weak group. So I think from what I've seen so far, black, unnecessary empty triangle. I think from what I've seen so far, black is a little bit stronger than white, and I think black's going to likely win this game because of two reasons. One, black's combination is better. And two, black knows more about Joseki's and making combinations than white does. And I think both players actually made the mistake of ignoring their own weaknesses. So I can say that black ignored the weakness here and white ignored the weaknesses here. So I think both players, white in particular, you need to work on your combinations and your Josekis and making sure that they are all working together and playing efficiently. So look at Josekis and then maybe review some pro games to see how their Josekis work together. And then for black, I think you're doing good on Joseki and stuff. It's just fix yourself first before moving on. And both players look at the weaknesses. Your own and your opponent's weaknesses are very important, and I think both players are ignoring that. And white, don't create unnecessary weaknesses like you did up here. It's don't over attack, don't over invest. Otherwise, you're just going to make it much more difficult on yourself. So don't over attack, don't over invest. Otherwise, you're just going to get another weak group like so in the game. All right, well, hopefully you guys found that interesting. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here because I think that is good enough to learn from for this game. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.